Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Weekly. It's February 3rd, 2025. And wow, AI news is just exploding this week. It's a fascinating mix too. We've got copyright issues, ChatGPT is getting even smarter. There's some international competition heating up, and even a Grammy win with a cool AI twist.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating time to be following all this AI stuff. Every week it seems like there's just more and more happening.
For sure. So let's jump right in. First up, the U.S. Copyright Office. They finally issued some guidance on AI-generated content, and it's causing quite a stir. They're basically saying that anything created solely by AI can't be copyrighted. But if there's significant human creativity involved, then it can.
Seems pretty straightforward, but when you actually think about it, it raises so many questions, like where do we draw the line between AI assistance and AI creation? And what does significant human creativity even mean?
Exactly. Like, is it enough to just give an AI a prompt? Or do you have to be more hands-on, shaping the output, editing it? It seems like this could get messy, especially for industries like music production, where AI is becoming so common.
Yeah, for sure. The USCO is definitely in a tough spot, trying to protect human creativity, while also acknowledging the growing role of AI in, like, everything.
Yeah, it's tricky. This is probably just the beginning of a much bigger conversation about AI and copyright. But let's move on to something a bit more technical. ChatGPT just rolled out a new feature. It's called Deep Research, and it's for pro users. This thing sounds seriously impressive.
Oh yeah, it's a potential game changer. Imagine being able to give ChatGPT a complex research task, not just a simple Google search. I'm talking like a multi-step process, analyzing different sources, synthesizing information, citing references. That's what this deep research feature can do.
Wow. So it's like a personal research assistant, but one that works at lightning speed. But are there limitations?
Well, of course. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
Even OpenAI admits that ChatGPT can sometimes hallucinate facts.
Yeah.
And has some difficulty judging source authority.
So we can make stuff up.
Basically, yeah. It can generate information that sounds very plausible,
Got it.
but is completely fabricating.
So you still need a human fact checker.
Got it. All right, let's switch gears and talk about some international AI news. There's a Chinese app called DeepSeek. It's making some serious waves. It's already passed ChatGPT in downloads.
That's pretty remarkable. DeepSeek is definitely one to watch. It's based on an open source model, which is a key difference. It's also way more affordable than ChatGPT, so it's accessible to a much wider audience. But that accessibility is raising some concerns, especially here in the U.S.
Yeah, I've seen the headlines. Data privacy, potential influence from the Chinese government, maybe even DeepSeek being used for bad stuff.
Yeah, all valid concerns. That open source nature means that it's flexible and transparent, but it also raises questions about security and control. And because it's a Chinese company, there are those anxieties about user data and how it could be misused.
It sounds a bit like that whole TikTok controversy a few years ago. People are worried about the data, where it's going, who has access. Yeah, the parallels are there for sure. And to make matters even more interesting, OpenAI, you know, the company behind ChatGPT, well, they've publicly accused DeepSeek of potentially using a technique called distillation to basically copy their models, which could be a violation of OpenAI's terms of service.
Whoa, hold on. What is distillation exactly, and why is OpenAI so worried about it?
Okay, so distillation. It's a way to create a smaller, more efficient AI model by training it on the output of a larger, more complex one. Think of it like creating a condensed version of a textbook.
Okay, so it's like DeepSeek used ChatGPT's model as a training ground.
That's essentially what OpenAI is claiming, and they're saying it violates their terms of service, which say you can't use their models to create competing products. It's a messy situation, legally and ethically. Distillation itself isn't necessarily bad. It has legitimate uses, but OpenAI is concerned about how DeepSeek might have used it.
So we've got powerful technology, unforeseen challenges. Sounds about right. But OpenAI didn't just accuse DeepSeek. They also took some action. They released o3-mini. It's a smaller, more efficient version of their advanced reasoning model. And get this, it's free for many existing users.
That's a smart move. They're addressing those concerns about accessibility and affordability directly.
It's like they're saying, okay, you want to play the open source game? We can too. And we'll make ours even more accessible.
Yeah, it's getting interesting. This is shaping up to be quite a battle.
For sure. But amidst all this controversy and technical stuff, let's not forget a really cool story. The Beatles. They just won a Grammy with a song that was partially restored using AI.
You're kidding, which song?
Now and Then.
Oh, wow. That's pretty amazing.
It was pieced together from an old demo. John Lennon recorded it back in the 70s. The original recording was pretty rough, but AI was used to isolate and clean up Lennon's vocals, like bringing his voice back to life.
That's incredible. New Beatles music in 2025 thanks to AI. This is huge.
Yeah, for music fans, for the music industry, it's huge.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think about AI's role in all this, in art and creativity.
Absolutely. Is AI enhancing human creativity or replacing it?
Yeah.
Is it ethical to use AI to revive the work of artists who are no longer with us? These are questions we're going to have to keep asking ourselves.
Yeah, no easy answers there. But for now, let's just enjoy the fact that we can hear John Lennon's voice again, thanks to AI. All right, so we covered a lot. Copyright law, ChatGPT getting even smarter, international AI competition, and a Grammy-winning song with an AI twist. But we're just getting started. Let's dive deeper into two of the most fascinating stories of the week. The DeepSeek controversy, and how OpenAI is responding to this new competition.
Sounds good to me. Let's unpack these stories and see what they mean for the future of AI. So DeepSeek, this app is, it's creating a real dilemma, especially for folks like us in the US. We're excited about its potential, but also kind of wary of the implications.
Yeah, it's like, we got this amazing tool, incredibly powerful, super affordable, but it comes with all this baggage, security concerns, potential for misuse.
Yeah.
It's a tough call.
Exactly. I mean, on the one hand, DeepSeek is open source, so its inner workings are transparent, which is great for developers and researchers. Plus, it's so much more affordable than a lot of other AI tools out there.
Yeah, I get the appeal. But then there's the whole China thing. Data security.
Yeah.
Potential influence from the Chinese government. It's not just paranoia.
No, definitely not. DeepSeek is subject to Chinese laws, which means the government could demand access to user data. And even if DeepSeek isn't actively sharing data, the potential for access is there. It's enough to make people nervous.
Sure. It's like you're weighing the benefits of this amazing tool against the risks to your privacy.
Exactly. And the stakes are high. We're not just talking about individual privacy here. Imagine what a foreign government could do. If they could analyze all the search queries going through DeepSeek, it's a gold mine of information.
Wow. You're right. It'd be like giving them a window into the collective mind of America. Kind of creepy. And on top of that, there are the concerns about DeepSeek being used for bad stuff, like cybersecurity threats or spreading misinformation.
Absolutely. That open source nature, it makes DeepSeek potentially vulnerable to exploitation.
So malicious actors could inject malware or use it to spread propaganda.
It's a possibility.
So where do we go from here? What are the solutions?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Some people are calling for government regulation, like what happened with TikTok. Some are even suggesting bans.
Wow. It's a tough situation. This technology is evolving so fast.
It really is.
And speaking of complicated situations, let's talk about OpenAI's reaction to all this. They didn't just sit back and watch.
Oh, no, they didn't. They took a two-pronged approach. First, they publicly accused DeepSeek of using distillation to copy their models.
It's kind of ironic, considering OpenAI is facing its own legal challenges over using copyrighted material to train their models.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pot calling the kettle black situation, but it also highlights how complex these issues are.
For sure. It raises all sorts of questions about intellectual property and the nature of innovation in AI.
Exactly.
Can you really own a model if someone can replicate it without copying your code?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll need to figure out.
Absolutely. But OpenAI didn't stop at accusations. They also released o3-mini. It's a smaller, more efficient version of their advanced reasoning model, and they made it free for lots of their users.
Smart move. They're addressing the accessibility and affordability concerns head on.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, we hear you, and we're not just going to complain, we're going to offer a solution.
Exactly. And it's a solution that benefits everyone. Users get a powerful AI tool for free, and OpenAI gets to expand their user base.
A win-win. But it makes you wonder about the long-term sustainability. Can OpenAI keep funding these advanced models if they're giving them away?
That's a valid point. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
For sure. But one thing's clear. OpenAI is not backing down. They're fighting back with innovation and a commitment to making AI accessible.
It's a fascinating dynamic.
It really is.
The AI landscape is changing so rapidly. New players, new challenges. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's a thrilling time to be following all this. A little daunting, too. But before we get too carried away with this AI arms race, let's go back to that Beatles story for a second, that Grammy win. For a song partially restored with AI,
yeah,
that feels significant.
It does. It raises interesting questions about creativity and authorship in the age of AI.
Definitely.
On one hand, we have AI being used to copy and compete. On the other hand, it's being used to revive and reimagine.
It's a complex landscape.
It really is.
And it's only going to get more complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is mind-blowing. We have a new Beatles song in 2025.
Yeah.
Crazy. But that whole thing about AI being used on Now and Then, it sparked some interesting conversations online.
Yeah, there was definitely some confusion at first. A lot of people thought the entire song was AI generated, like a digital John Lennon singing a brand new song. But that wasn't the case at all. It just goes to show how quickly our perceptions of AI are changing.
Totally. And it shows how important it is to be clear about what AI is actually doing. Like with Now and Then, Peter Jackson's team used AI for audio cleanup. They separated John Lennon's vocals and piano from all the noise on the original demo tape. They didn't create anything new.
Right. It was more like restoration, like using AI to restore a faded photograph.
Oh, I like that analogy. So the original image is still there. The AI just helps to bring back the details.
Exactly.
So cool. And it makes you think about all the possibilities. We could use AI to restore tons of old recordings from all sorts of artists.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine hearing a pristine recording of a live concert from like the 1930s.
Or a lost interview with a historical figure.
The potential is huge.
It really is.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder, where do we draw the line? If we can restore old recordings, could we also use AI to create completely new music in the style of artists who are no longer with us?
That's where things get a bit ethically tricky.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
For sure. What's honoring an artist's legacy and what's exploitation? It's tough.
It really is. And it's not just limited to music. Think about film, literature, even visual art.
AI could create new works in the style of any artist.
Exactly.
Wow. We need to be having these conversations now, before it's too late.
I agree. We need guidelines, ethical frameworks.
Absolutely. It feels like we're at a crossroads. AI can do amazing things, but it can also be misused. It's up to us to decide how we use it.
Well said. We need to be thoughtful, deliberate, inclusive.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of another episode of AI Weekly. It's been a wild ride. Copyright controversies, international competition, even a Grammy-winning song with an AI twist. What stood out to you this week? What are your thoughts on all this? We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for joining us on AI Weekly. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.